O flower of Scotland, when will we see VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 175, with me, Jordan Midler, Chris Scullion, and Andy Robinson. This week, why does Link look like that? But first, how's it going, folks? Ni hao, Chris Scullion, how are you?
Ni hao, I'm doing alright.
Yeah.
Had a few days off just to kind of recharge finally after.
Still worked. Still was in that Slack. Could not believe my eyes when you popped up.
Can't get me out of that Slack for love nor money.
The man who can't relax.
No, 100%. I was even yesterday. I was recording first play videos. So yeah, that is what it is. But hey,
a couple of interviews.
Yeah, exactly. I was in Paris for a trip. It was pretty good.
20,000 word feature.
Yeah,
yeah, that's all good.
But you bloody did, didn't you? How many book pages did you write?
I did, Joe. I actually deliberately didn't do the book the last couple of days, but it does mean I'll need to hammer it over the weekend. For
anyone who doesn't know, Chris writes so much that he has to put his hand in an ice bucket frequently.
I did the icing a few times over Summer Game Festa. I have to admit, I did the iced up
ice on your wrist,
major one.
Chris Scullion, have you got the World Cup fever?
I have. I've
indeed.
I've been running away.
I am positive.
Yes. Yeah. Football.
Affirmative. I've run a daft week kind of prediction thing with EAFC, which we can talk about later, maybe or maybe not. But yeah, it's made me kind of invested in every match. I attempted to stay up last night for the Korea match. Got like halfway through. So basically, I got all I've only watched half the match and then fell asleep. So I've got all the kind of negative elements being absolutely shattered today, but without the benefit of actually having watched the match.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose.
I watched an 8-minute compilation this morning when I started work, and I got all the same benefits. So I feel like there's a.
Did you see the state of the BBC's spoiler-free site?
No.
So the BBC's got a thing on the homepage saying if you want World Cup spoiler-free, bookmark this link. It's like bbc.co.uk/spoiler-free or something. And if you click on that, you'll just get straight to the video highlight clips. So you can just click each one. First game, the Mexico game, the thumbnail says 3 red cards. So thanks for avoiding the spoilers there, mate.
Let me tell you, that Mexico, Andy Robinson's also here, that Mexico game last night was like actual soccer aid. Not only were Mexico about 1,000,000,000% better than South Africa, to the point where they should have scored about 50, the ref totally lost the running himself. He was like, right, I'm really panicking here. There was a moment where now they're doing a lot of stupid American things. First of all, football's now 4 quarters. It's not 2 halves. They've just decided it's 4 quarters. And then when he was doing a VAR decision, the boy put his microphone on and he went, decision, red card. And then the boy that he said off was just like, no, look,
it was amazing. They cut to a South African guy just staring at like that. Like, what? It's like, you've got to speak to the entire crowd. Oh, by the way, you don't know how to speak.
Yeah.
He's like,
it was like, just bizarre. That poor boy shithole, the defensive midfielder that gave away the goal and then gave away a stonking red card. It was a bad start for him, but I knew this would happen. The World Cup, this entire time, I've not been excited for it. The second it started, I was like, oh, there's football on every single day. That's Dreamland.
No, it's not on every single day, is it? It's on every single like night.
Yeah, I suppose. I saw an advert on ITV.
It's a bit awkward on our time zone.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
the World Cup should be on at like midday. I want to have it on while I'm working.
I totally agree. Like when it was in Germany, perfect time. Like
South Africa was great.
Yeah, we've got the Euros next time, so that'll be all right. But yeah,
we had like a big TV in the office, didn't we, Chris?
That's right. That was amazing.
Just vuvuzelas all day, trying to do news stories around vuvuzelas.
Yeah, it was the least.
Pretty sure it started before E3 as well.
That was the thing.
Definitely.
I said to Andy last night, it would have been class to still be in LA for a Mexico game because they were obviously the diaspora in LA is like hugely Mexican. And that would have been the good side of it. The bad side of it was a couple of years ago when I was there for the Real Madrid Dortmund Champions League final, and it was just full of absolute dicks in Real Madrid tops, and I was the only one there supporting Dortmund, because I hate those royalist scum. It's the final day for our Summer Game Fest offer. head over to patreon.com/video games chronicle. If you join at the Insider tier or above or upgrade to the Insider tier, you will receive a game code for a Steam game from Kepler Interactive. Our friends over at Kepler have sent us codes for games such as Clear Obscure, you may have heard of it, and a few other from their back catalogue. So sign up today. It's your final day. Today, Friday the 12th, it's the final day. Tonight you can get a podcast with me and Lucy James talking about Summer Game Fest and her new Ska Looking For game. Now, I've got something cool to show you all. If you come to
that bit in Terminator where he cuts his hand open.
Bad thing to follow up with. If you come to VGC Live, then you will get the opportunity to win many fabulous prizes, and we're revealing the first of them today. This is
going for that Pikachu.
Oh God, no! That'll die with me. I will put a picture of this up because this might not translate on the video, but this is a copy of Uncharted.
Signed by Lara Croft.
Beauty.
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, signed by the entire team that worked on it.
That entire
team. I will sing that if you win it right into your ear. So yes, you'll be able to win this.
We better not find that in CEX.
20 quid.
I've got a picture somewhere, right? Like, obviously, we did the Kickstarter for Ukulele. We had to spend an entire day signing the 1,000 manuals and stuff, right? And I think a few people got copies signed by the dev team. One of them was spotted in CEX.
Good.
Signed by the whole dev team.
That's amazing.
If you would like to win this and other fabulous prizes, check out VGC Live. We're very close getting to the point where we will say, yes, VGC Live's happening and you can't come. The cat is currently ripping my door down because I didn't feed him this morning, but he's coming to VGC Live.
I may bring a bunch of booby prizes. I've still got a cupboard full of promo Xbox 360 games, which obviously can't be resold, but I'm sure can be given to people.
I was about to say, it doesn't say do not give away at VGC Live.
I know exactly. So if you'd like a copy of Crash Time 4 on Xbox 360, then come. Tickets still available. But yes, earlier, as I understand it.
Check out VGC Live. Or and more, 16th of October. Good on the video game industry for not releasing a single game in October this year. It's all going to be in September because they knew that October was the month of VGC Live.
Although the Street Fighter film's out the same day as VGC Live, so I might have to go on a wee pilgrimage in the morning and go and see it, review it live on stage.
Dressed as Blanca. I would hope so. But yes, VGC Live and patreon.com/video games chronicle. It's your last day for the offer. Get in to it. Story number 1. Nintendo Direct Mega Mix. There was a 50-minute showcase earlier this week. They announced 50 billion games. We're going to run through some of the big hitters. Pocopia is getting DLC. They announced the first of 3 expansions. This was the most obvious thing in the world, considering that game sold 1 billion copies. But they're introducing Bubbly Basin, which is probably Cerulean City, and the ability to dive. Chris Scullion, have you played Pocopia yet? You absolute scumbag.
I dabbled briefly with the first hour. The kid, I've played it with the kid, and she was into it for a while, but she's in this mood just now where she just jumps from thing to thing. Tomodachi's her obsession.
It's the same with mine. I think they've misjudged that. Releasing Tomodachi and Pocopia so close together. My 2 daughters were well into Pocopia, and then as soon as Tomodachi come out, they've just not touched it. They're on Tomodachi every day, basically.
She's properly, Serena's get to the point where she's cheating it. She's cheating Tomodachi, so she's made her entire class. So she's made all of her 30 schoolmates. And you can draw on their faces. She's drawn their name above their head. So when you do the shadow round, when you got to guess who it is by the shadow, she just knows who it is. She's just like, fancy writing some guides for us.
You're deleting
all the good time, mate. In good time.
Definitely.
This is not the way that Mario intended. But yes, that'll be out later this year. First set is out in August, second set just after that, and the third set is in 2027. They're doing the thing that Nintendo DLC seems to do recently, where you'll get some stuff for free, but then if you buy the package deal, you get a lot more. They've got tons of Pokemon still to put in that, so that was the most obvious thing to happen. DK Bonanza is getting limited time Mario DLC. Chris, what is this? What are they playing at?
I don't know. I'd just add it to the game.
Yeah.
Don't why I've not been able to get around to finishing Bonanza yet because of all the other stuff I'm doing. And now
Andy
I see this, I'm like, well, so here. But I see this and I'm like, I want that, but I don't want to be rushed to get it. Like, just give people
your backlog is generational.
Yeah. It's not a backlog at this point. It's that he will die with
doesn't
five
take
it's a scribe that will get buried with me.
Yeah.
At this point, but we'll get there.
There's going to be a really twee indie game made in a few years about Chris being tragically slain and his daughter having to pick up the backlog of games to complete, and that's actually an allegory for generational trauma. And some shit muncher blog is going to give it 5 stars, and we're going to laugh at them. But yeah,
listen, she's getting trained to write my books after I go. Like that can't stop. But we'll see.
She'll do the PS2 one and then not have any hands left. She'll be like down to absolute nubs time. This limited time stuff is the worst thing Nintendo does, and I don't know why they do it. Like, it's so bizarre, especially for a company with a fan base that are absolute preservation perverts. You would think that they would know that there's value in letting this stuff go on forever.
Plus they've got these evergreen games, and the Switch 2 is literally just turned a year old a couple of days ago. You're going to get people getting Donkey Kong Bonanza like 2 years from now. When they're just buying a Switch 2 and going, oh, I heard that Donkey Kong was good. All that DLC's not there anymore, by the way. Just that's what you get for not. It's like, just keep it. Just keep it. It looks fun. I want to try it.
Yeah.
I don't have time, and I'm probably not going to get to now. That's just daft.
A year of the Switch 2. Andy, best Switch 2 game so far?
That is a good question.
For me,
it
it's
also
Topia
requires
with a
me to try and remember what's out on Switch 2.
Mario Kart World, pish. Donkey Kong Bonanza, pretty good, even though you thought it was pish. Pokemon Legends ZA, good. Metroid Prime 4, embarrassingly bad. What else did they release?
It probably is Donkey Kong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Donkey Kong probably is the best game on there, even though it's not at Mario. I mean, Switch 1 undoubtedly had a better first year.
Oh yeah,
than Switch 2. But I have this theory, and a few other journalists have this theory that this Switch 2 was originally meant to launch in 2023. Right? Go and look at the Nintendo's lineup since then. Like, it was huge. I think Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin, New Super Mario Brothers. They're really in need of a big, like a AAA, the A-team game, in my opinion. I guess we'll get to it, but that's kind of what this direct again is like. You're like, where's the 3D Mario? Where's like, I mean, okay, they've got the remakes and stuff, but it just feels a lot of that right now, right? Remakes and remasters and Switch 2 editions, and we're kind of waiting for the 10 out of 10s.
That's the thing, there is a lot of great games on there, but a lot of them are stuff people have played before, and the novelty is playing them handheld, so all the Yakuzas and all that kind of stuff. It's like probably Yakuza 0 is the one I've played most this year.
They should have done. They needed this direct earlier in the year.
Yeah.
This. I mean, did they have one in February? Am I making that up?
They had
like a partner,
maybe a partner one. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They needed, in my opinion, this. I mean, I remember they did a partner. It was super underwhelming. Like, because we kind of knew a lot of these games were coming. We're like, oh, of course, this will be the one that has, Metaphor and Dust Bloods and all the rest of it. They needed this at the start of the year, in my opinion. Like, look, every third-party game is coming to this thing. And they really kind of now, I think we needed some big hitters to have some visibility of what's coming, because it's just difficult to see what is coming for Switch 2. I mean, this is a thing, right? The best Nintendo is always when they're doing crap. Like, that's prime Nintendo is when they're bombing and they need to like come out and pull out their A game. When they're doing great, just throw them a Switch 2 edition.
The interesting thing is they're going to need another direct soon as well, because everything they showed was this year.
Yeah,
like, their 2027 schedule is empty just now.
They're
obviously
at
it isn't.
Gamescom, I think. Aren't they? I think they're back at Gamescom.
Right, yeah.
They usually have a game. It's like something. I mean, they had Kirby.
Yeah, it was Kirby last year. Yeah,
they had Pokemon.
Well, I was going to say
the year, but the last time we were there,
their 2027 big game is Winds and Waves. So we don't know if that's an early 2027.
Hold on a minute.
Game
when did they say Switch Sports was coming out? It was September.
Yeah, September or something.
Cool. So it'd probably be bloody Switch Sports.
Yeah.
But they've got to talk about Zelda at some point.
Yeah.
They usually have a September direct. I'd kind of be surprised if all we get is that very
I
short.
think it'll be like a Zelda 40th anniversary one with like a film trailer and then
that sounds more like it to me.
Maybe some sort
of. But this is the conversation around this as well. This direct, a lot of people were disappointed with this direct that I'm seeing. I thought it was pretty good. Like it was okay,
it was fine.
But then I'm a jaded games journalist, so I wouldn't be excited if they said it was amazing, particularly. But the part of the issue of that is that it was bloody leaked. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was kind of stunned that, some information goes around, right? But it's the unwritten rule. Like a lot of the time, a lot of the games press know most of the stuff that's coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, our role as journalists is to ask ourselves, what is the value, the journalistic value to our audience in revealing something that is going to be revealed. Anyway, and you saw a bit of that last week around Summer Game Fest. I mean, obviously the Nintendo thing was leaked earlier, but I just don't see who benefits from revealing what's in the Xbox showcase, 2 days before it happens, for example. All you're doing is absolutely torpedoing some poor developers' plans. And this is an example of what happens to that. A lot of people have come out of this really disappointed because we knew the Ocarina remake was coming, right? Yeah. Spoilers. We knew it was coming. It would have been such an incredible announcement, right? Okay, I'm not a fan of, we're not marketeers, we're journalists. But you can see this in action, right? The reason people were disappointed is because they knew it was coming and therefore they expected a bit more. Because this is or for all intents and purposes, the second showing, right? If we didn't know about this, it would have been fine. But because we did, it's like, where's the gameplay? Show us a bit of the game.
So just on that, like as Andy says, on this Saturday, we were at Summer Game Fest, and I handed him my phone, and it had the entire Xbox show on it. And it's useful for us because we can prepare from a news perspective, but it doesn't really behoove us to be like, here's the whole thing. The only thing I feel differently about is I think that obviously the exclusive thing came out early, and that's not a news announcement, that's not a game announcement, that's like ridiculous policy change. So I understand why that came out, but
of course, there's like bigger stories and reasons. Like if you have a bigger story reason, like I mean, I've obviously done this in the past. I mean, the one that comes to mind, if example, is that Konami's remaking, Metal Gear, Castlevania, and what was everyone, Silent Hill, and obviously they all exist now. They've come to fruition. But the reason that story was interesting and had value, it was because Konami is returning to traditional AAA game development, and also it's willing to outsource to partners, which it wasn't doing before. That was the story, not X game exists.
Yeah, we're just gonna put a pin in Zelda because it's the crowning moment of this chat. Let's fire through a few more of these. Dragon's Dogma 2 coming to Switch 2 with DLC. Alex Donaldson top off running around the room, I'm sure. Huge news for Andy. The main Xenoblade Chronicles games are coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so we'll have a 3-part review series where Andy goes through all of them. Look forward to that. What number on Patreon do we need to get to for you to review all the Xenoblade Chronicles games, Andy?
10 grand.
10 grand a day.
I mean, it's just... my issue with that is that they're like, I don't know how these games have like snuck their way into my party, but they've come in the back door, isn't it? When we weren't looking in the Wii generation, when we was like, I'm kind of done with this now. Like when Nintendo weren't catering to us, they snuck in these PlayStation games, and they are PlayStation games, right? And now you have a generation of like 20-year-olds who like had a Wii when they were like children. They're like, these are Nintendo games. They're not Nintendo games. They're not. I switch off, and some people enjoy them, and I'm very happy for you.
The thing is, they're good. Every time I play one, I'm like, this is good, and I get like, if I'm not reviewing it, I get like 10, 15 hours in it, and I go, that's enough. And then
can I just say as well before I forget, they announced Onimusha for Switch 2, right? I interviewed the director 3 days ago. Yeah. Not only did I interview the director 3 days ago, it was embargoed until the day after the direct. And I asked him, why is this game not on Switch 2? Every Capcom game is on Switch 2. Is it a technical reason? He's like, well, you'd have to ask one of the bosses. We just,
twiddled his moustache.
No, he didn't hit at all. Like, he's just like, no, mate, you have to ask one of the bosses. Just,
Maybe at that moment he went, you know what? We should put this on Switch to spin up a trailer.
So I've got an interview going up after the direct that basically says, I don't know why it's not coming to Switch 2. It's just like madness.
Lying prick.
Quite funny to funny to do that answer immediately under it.
Only Musha, by the way. We're talking about games that won me over, because that other than actual From Software games, I'm really not interested in the 50 million Soulsborne clones, set in medieval China or whatever.
China?
Right? China. And that's what Onimusha looks like, right? It looks like it should be a Soulsborne set in, Edo period, Japan. It's great.
Nice.
Absolutely great. It's basically it felt like a hybrid between like RE4 and DMC, Devil May Cry. It's like just a really cool action game with like wall jumps and special powers and finishing moves. It's like I just want to shut my brain off and play a nice linear game, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're a get good combat type, you'll be less interested. But for me, I'm just like pressing forward and pressing some buttons and killing some guys and running off a wall and fighting a boss. And it's cool.
There's a demo out now that I might play tonight. There's some bits and
pieces. Yeah, and funnily enough, everyone is, from what I've seen, everyone's moaning that it's easy, right? So,
of course.
Yeah. Demo arigato.
Demo
well, he's come out and said that they deliberately made it easy, so hopefully it'll be a bit.
Oh, and the main character is a proper like Cockney samurai.
Oh right!
You go back and watch the footage. Properly like he like stabs this like fucking demon. And he's like, piss off.
It's so annoying.
You mug, Danny.
That's going to annoy me. As long as you can play, if that's the case, as long as you can do the Japanese voice for the subtitles, because that's immersion breaking for me. If the guy's clearly in,
I don't see it's surprisingly engaging.
You want some?
You mug.
Danny died this. Nintendo Switch.
It's a small part of Japan, mate.
You come to my manor, Kyoto.
Stop the boats. Just for the record, not many Cockneys are massive right wing grifters.
Oh, really? Yeah. I thought you were going to say, for the record, don't stop the boats.
VGC the Boats Positive Podcast. Next up, before we get into even more trouble, Nintendo Switch Sports is getting a sequel. All that came out of this was that wanking gif, so I didn't really understand what was going on. So I didn't want to talk about travel. Fuck BA, by the way, they screwed me over again, as usual. It took me all day to get back.
I'm not getting compensation for that delayed flight.
You're not getting compensation?
They're blaming it on the weather. They've still not given me
my money back for the other guy's suitcase I paid for. But I, like Silver, they usually give you they blank the seat next to you. Next to you, right? So I got a nice window seat. I wasn't feeling particularly well. I was ill at the end of Summer Game Fairs. I just wanted a nice, comfortable journey. I got myself a window seat. I double checked on like Expert Flyer, which is what you can use to check seats on the plane. I had a seat next to me. Mate, imagine a 7-foot like rugby player, like weighs 40 stone. Because I'm on the plane. Because you got status and you're in economy. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Usually you're like the only one in economy. Like, so I go into now and it's like plane's completely empty. This 7-foot, like 40 stone rugby player guy walks on. Lovely guy, by the way. Walks on the plane. Yep. He's sat right next to me in the middle seat. So I've spent 10 hours feeling sick, like a dislocated shoulder, just like that.
Yeah.
So up yours, BA.
Up yours, Dolores. I was on the way back, I was on the double decker and sat down.
Oh, they're nice.
Put my elbow on the little cupboard thing.
And it just popped up,
fell asleep. It popped up throughout the entire thing. I was like smashing it down like throughout the whole thing. And I woke up and people were like, "Oh, that was a terrible flight." Apparently, it was like getting it proper choppy, like the intro to an Uncharted game where Nathan Drake's like crashed into a fucking island. I didn't feel any of it. I was so tired, like I just slept through the entire thing, which was class. But yes, BA, truly the worst airline of all time. Duskbloods is getting a network test. This is such a weird
one. Can't shimmy Switch Sports. That's the highlight of the year. Switch Sports.
Right,
come
Chris,
on, thumb wrestling.
Switch Sports, hit me with it.
Well, it's not just Switch Sports. I think you'll find it's Switch Sports Resort.
Of course.
Meaning it's a sequel to the far superior Wii Sports Resort, which had Woohoo Island, which is one of the greatest characters in the history of Nintendo. It's got a Wii skateboarding game. It's got flying in it again. This is what the Switch Sports game should have been.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah. Get the resort back. Get thumb wrestling in there. A bit of boxing. I'm up for this.
We bet the 5-knuckle shuffle. That's out later this year. Duskbloods is a weird situation where I thought surely the next time they showed this, they would have like a big fancy like trailer instead of just being
released
like, here's a network test. There's a lot of the FromSoft fans, and obviously these are very soft people. These are very emotionally led people. These are very young children. Are like, this is going to be the worst Miyazaki game ever. This is going to be the worst From Software game ever. Where's his real game? I reserve judgment until I can actually play it. Metaphor v Fantasio is coming to Switch 2. It shocks me that wasn't already announced for Switch 2 because that feels like the most Switch 2 game ever, but that game's fantastic, so go and play that. The Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Switch, and then Kingdom Hearts Bloody 4 got a trailer, which was very, very funny that happened. Big weekend for Square Enix, which we'll get to. Chris, you're a absolute Disney nonce. How do you feel about Kingdom Hearts?
I mean, I'm also going to rebuy them again. So I've got the whole collection on PS4. I've got the whole collection on Xbox. Never touched it.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously like an idiot. I'm going to get it again on Switch 2 and go, finally, this is the time I play through Kingdom Hearts. They're impenetrable.
Mate, these games are mostly mints. You don't need to play
them.
Listen,
it's not popular to say this will be clipped and I'll get abused for this. Kingdom Hearts 4, but footage looked a bit shite.
Yeah.
The big giant guy coming through the building, and then he knocks you about the building over, and two guys just go fall over. And I'm like, that looks a bit rubbish. But the kids will love it. It'll have Goofy in it, and Pluto, and Winnie the Pooh go, oh bother, and then that'll be enough. Then we'll have 5 out of 5.
Sorry, can I get your Winnie the Pooh again, please?
It goes, oh bother.
That was better.
That wasn't as good. That wasn't as good the second time.
Really, I thought the second time was better.
Well.
Yeah,
it gets better with age.
It does get better with age. Kingdom Hearts, just get this out so people can stop talking about it. I'm sick to death of it. I'm sick to the back teeth. But yes, Kingdom Hearts 4. And finally, they showed a puppet from Team America lying on a bit of grass, and that was allegedly Link from The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Now, Andy got into it a bit earlier. There was a lot of chat that Nintendo should have responded to the leak and made this more of a blowout presentation. Now, we assumed that this was what they were ending with, and when they announced that there was a treehouse afterwards, I was so sure that it was going to be, okay, here's the trailer, and then here's 50 minutes of us talking about it. Here's everything that's happening in the game. It was just like 4 shots of a trailer, 2026, see you later. Andy, should they have reacted to the leak, or is Nintendo going to Nintendo?
I mean, that's for them to say, I guess. Obviously, it's unfortunate for them that it leaked in the first place. I mean, they would have had a clear plan for this mapped out in advance. Yeah, I mean, probably they should have, right? From my uneducated perspective. It was more underwhelming than it should, just because we knew about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe even like just a couple of clips, right?
Yeah,
get us excited. I don't know. Maybe they must have like a big 40th anniversary thing planned.
That's the only
obviously they've got
reason.
The movie coming out next year as well. So this will all be synced up together, I imagine. By the way, people moaning about the art direction from a single shot are really boring, people. Like, if you're moaning about like what Link looks like, etc., from that shot, you're really boring.
I thought it looked fine. I mean, I need to see more of it. Don't forget, like, there was only a couple of months ago we were saying what's going on with Star Fox, and now we've all kind of warmed to that.
We've all warmed to that.
Speaking of which, why didn't they just save Star Fox for this? direct. That would have been another
because they literally, I think they had like nothing announced for the year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're trying, but that one is they were trying to capitalize on the movie, the fact that Fox was in the movie, right? Originally, I was told they were, because even Fox leaked, right? Fox leaked in a casting call. So I think their original plan was not to put that poster out until the week after the movie, so people actually would discover Fox in the movie, which would have been amazing, by the way. I still can't believe they put that poster out. Ridiculous. Even if we knew he was in the movie, it's one thing knowing he's in it and seeing it, right? It's like all the different Spider-Men in the last Spider-Man movie, right?
Yeah, because you can know, but then kind of think it was a fake. Out of it. Yeah, you can know, but then think maybe that was fake until you actually
They were supposed to do that the next week and then sort of like do the Star Fox thing as well and really capitalize it. So that's why that's there. Just as an aside, away from marketing, Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time. So I'm very curious about how they're going to handle it, because it's got to be handled with the utmost respect, right? You can't just farm this out to some amateurs. I think it probably is outsourced.
Team Omega,
just purely through the amount of resources that Nintendo, as we said at the top of the show, they're struggling to get some games out in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And this is not going to be a small undertaking. Modernizing something like this is like, every game that came out after Ocarina of Time was inspired by Ocarina of Time. Stuff like The Witcher and things like that, The Witcher 3, like trail right back to Ocarina of Time. And it's that scale, like modernizing that game is not going to be a small task at all. So I'm fascinated to see who they've signed up to do that. And I hope they're not. I hope they're not rubbish.
Good feel. That'll be good feeling.
Mate, Yoshi is amazing.
It's not next level games, because that looks maybe
some people said that. I mean, but the thing is, Luigi's Mansion is legitimately like a top, probably a top 5. I don't want to say 5, but it's one of their biggest franchises now. I mean, that thing sells.
Yeah, they should have them on that.
I mean, it probably sells better than probably the Zelda game will. So I'd kind of be surprised, but at the same time, they are coming off of like 3 of them, right? So
I'll be interested to see it. They might be expanding more. I see the Star Fox games made by a team I'm not massively familiar with.
By the Vicarious Visions guys at Valan Studios,
So they might be or maybe this is just a continuation of their Bandai Namco relationship. Maybe Bandai's on it. Bandai Namco's on Zelda. Yeah.
As I said, Team Omega is from the people that brought you Attack on Titan 3. Here comes Chris, I need to tell you this. So, no disrespect to this game, but
it'd be better if I tell it. It's not. You can't tell your own bit.
Go on then.
When we were covering the what was it, Xbox or something?
It was SGF.
SGF. Attack on Titan came on screen and he cheered like he was in. I whooped, yeah, and then he came up. Curry Tech Mario, he went, no!
Because there was just a moment in my head. I was like, "Oh, who's got the Attack on Titan?" They wouldn't be doing this big deal for for the third entry in those very much 7 out of 10 Attack on Titan games. I thought From Software or a CD Projekt are doing Attack on Titan, and then it came up. Okay, before we go to a break, out of 5s for this Nintendo Direct, as someone who was just watching it via Blue Sky notifications, it seemed pretty good. I think everyone's being like weirdly harsh about all the showcases this weekend. In our Discord, people were pure and knocking lumps out the Xbox one. And if you divorce it from what we're about to talk about after the break, I thought the stuff they showed was pretty good. So Chris, out of 5 for Nintendo Direct.
I think all 3 of the big 3 were 4s for me. 4 out of 5. I think they all had their own strengths and weaknesses. They all had the one bit that made me go, that's a shame. But for the most part, I enjoyed them all. All 3 of them had shitloads of games that I really want to play. So that's kind of all you could hope for, I think.
Andy?
Yeah, I agree. It's we talk a lot about with Summer Game Fest. And I think I said this on the Summer Game Fest pod. We talk about, and Jeff has talked a lot about, I don't know if privately or publicly, about, when we used to kind of write scathing reviews of some of the shows years ago, right? That he can only, deal with as much content is out there, right? If there's no games out there's put in a show, then obviously you're going to have a weak show. And I think this is like a late gen show. Like we're really late into, I don't know where you position Switch 2 in the gen, but certainly the PS5, Xbox Series X gen. And there's a lot more good stuff out there. Developers have games. The pandemic, as disruption is settling. I think we're seeing that across all the showcases. They're all super strong, I thought.
I tend to agree. When we come back, unfortunately, we're talking about Xbox, and we're also going to be talking about Ubisoft. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back. Xbox speedruns losing absolutely all the goodwill it earned during Sunday's show ahead of proposed game studio cuts next month. On Wednesday, Xbox boss Asha Sharma published a note sent to staff in which she shared realities that we need to navigate, such as the annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million in 5 years. That's almost as much as Chris Scullion gets paid. Hardware costs are up 4x since last year, and the studio system is overextended. According to a Bloomberg report, the note sent to staff was in advance of planned significant layoffs across the Xbox business and a reduction of its marketing and other budgets. In a new report published by The Verge, it's claimed that those cuts could also see the closure of an unnamed Xbox studio. Quote, sources suggest the cuts could even involve a studio closure or changes to the Xbox studio lineup. Before we proceed with the cuts they've had in the past couple of years, Andy, they seemed like they were on top of the world. A lot of good hearts and minds stuff over the weekend, and then since then it has just been PR gaff after rake after whatever other analogy.
I mean, they've got a great knack of stepping on rakes, right? Like Sideshow Bob. I thought it was their best show in a really long time. I thought it was a proper 9 out of 10 show from them. Not many surprises, but everything that was there looked super strong. Halo looks brilliant. I saw Gears of War behind closed doors for about an hour. I think that looks brilliant. I didn't care about the last two that they did, Coalition, but this looks proper. Like they've really sat down and spent a lot of time looking at the original and, what made them great. And technically, it's one of the and art direction wise, it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen. Like it's absolutely beautiful, that game. And also, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm just going to talk about Gears of War now. Like the premise, I don't know. I didn't watch the Gears direct, so I had to run off. It's like all in that city. And it seems like a really cool where they've built this whole city and all the surrounding area and everything. And they've built it in various states. So there'll be like, it'll be like pristine, and then it'll be a little bit war torn, and then it'll be destroyed, and you kind of go back for it. It looks great. Anyway, aside from kids, I thought it was a brilliant show. They did their mixer at Summer Game Fest. So, there's like a handful of press and partners and like Asha Sharma and Matt Booty and, Todd Howard and, all their guys, kind of strolling around. And it was good vibes, right? It was 25th anniversary. They kind of pushed that. They had the console. We had like little 25th anniversary back, and it felt like good vibes, right? And then like this happens. It's and I think it's going to be bad as well. I don't know anything about this at all, for the record, before it's turned into stories. But it's bad. It's vibes, right? I've been covering Asha Sharma and Michael Ball for a while, and the words that are coming out of their mouths are that this business needs gutting, especially if they're talking about a 3% profit margin. That is disastrous, by the way. I mean, someone noted on social media, which is the best comparison, that they could shut the business, put all that money in a bank account, and make more money in interest. There's a lot of suggestion, especially from Michael Ball, and in some of the corpo speak from Asha, that they might be, kind of doubling down on the big stuff. I mean, I spoke to Matt Piscatella from Sakana last year, I think, when they put Halo onto PS5, which, to me felt like, and I've never felt more old than that moment, because it felt to me like the biggest story in the world. And I looked around and everyone else was like, meh, or assuming that's what it felt like to me. Like, this is such a huge deal. And I spoke to Matt Piscatella about, where does this go, this direction, this multi-platform direction? It feels like it really felt the gloves were off at that point, right? No red lines, etc., as Phil Spencer used to say. And Matt said to me, with a caveat that the games industry is changing so quickly, and it's so unrecognizable for even 3 years ago that you can't predict. But he nonetheless he had two educated guesses, and they were either the Netflix model pays off for Xbox, and you see lots of smaller stuff kicking off like you do on Netflix, like stand-up comedy and foreign language shows, like really kind of got big, right, from Netflix because people try things. Or it doesn't take off, and you see them retreat into their biggest stuff, and all the smaller stuff suffers. And sadly, I think it's looking like the latter, right? The messaging that's coming out of them is that they need to. I think Asha Sharma directly said this. I haven't got the quote in front of me, but she basically said we haven't invested enough in our biggest IPs. We have huge IPs, but we've not invested enough into them. That to me screams that if you're a Double Fine or Compulsion Games or anyone like that, making smaller stuff that was basically Game Pass, Game Pass, great little Game Pass games, then I would be concerned. And this was always screaming out in my face for ages that once you buy Activision and Activision becomes everything for them, right? Why'd you bother doing all these other shooters like Doom and Perfect Dark and Halo, etc.? These a couple of franchises they've got like Forza and Minecraft and Call of Duty and some of the Blizzard stuff makes so much money that it kind of makes all the stuff they had before so irrelevant. Mm-hmm. If you're coming a cold-hearted business person, which Asha Sharma is, she's not coming in with any sentiment to these games. You're looking at that and it's screaming out to you, we need to double down on all this big stuff.
Chris?
I mean, before the showcase thing we'd been saying before, I'd been saying this was a make or break showcase for Xbox, I think they made it. It was a make. Like the showcase itself was excellent. And then 24 hours, 48 hours later, we're back into break. And it's like, I think up until this point, Asha Sharma had been saying all the right stuff. I never bought into the, like Andy said in previous podcasts, the changing the badge thing. And I was never fooled by that. And the changing it from lowercase Xbox to uppercase, as if we're ever going to write uppercase Xbox. Like we don't. I
was about to say we don't pay respect to Lego and Sega. We're not going to do it for years after you change it for 5 minutes.
But she was saying all the right things up till I can't remember it was the interview with Bloomberg, I think, on stage. I think it was a Bloomberg one. Sorry if it wasn't them. And that was the first mention of the next 100 days we're doing a reset. And at that point, I was like, "Oh, we know what's coming next." Well, because a reset it doesn't usually mean, "Don't worry, everyone, let's press a wee button here and then we'll fix it." That's bad news. I'm hoping, because obviously the note doesn't mention layoffs or anything like that. I'm hoping that, and this is just me clinging on to hope for the sake of the people working there, that. Either the reports are inaccurate or it's going to be a Toys for Bob situation where these studios are going to be offered the opportunity to go independent rather than being just fully shut down. I imagine that's the case. Yeah. Even then, that's no guarantee of success because you're instantly losing your financial security. Then at that point, that doesn't necessarily.
And by the way, like on that note, one of the games I got to see at Xbox was Spyro, and. That was quite fascinating, that whole conversation where they're like, yeah, we pitched this game to Activision 8 years ago and they declined it. And then Microsoft bought us, they let us go. And then we pitched it to them and they said yes. Like that whole situation where they're like, well, you're at this Xbox booth, tell us about your Xbox game, your Xbox IP. But they bought you and then you didn't want to be there. It's fascinating. Sorry, carry on.
So I'm hoping that's the result of it, because I obviously don't want anyone losing their job, but I'm hoping that seems like the best of a bad scenario where these teams are allowed to still exist and pitch stuff to Microsoft, and if Microsoft don't want it, then they can at least pitch elsewhere and kind of stay afloat. It's just. I'm also concerned about, not enough people I think are showing concern about, she said a couple of times now that the next console needs a new, what was it say, basically a new model of selling it. because you said a few times now this thing's going to cost a fortune in parts, and we can't afford to sell a console for crazy money because people won't buy it. So we need to think of new models. And I don't think enough people are raising alarm at that, because this Helix isn't going to be like £1,000. Here you go. I think we're looking at a subscription model where you're paying
everything's completely changed since they put that into motion. I mean, there's a story somewhere on the site. I mean, she says in her note to staff that basically when she came in early this year, their cost of components had doubled based on the year prior. And then now it's doubled again. And they basically expect it to double again. So, even that was probably £1,000 console when they were planning it. Now I bet it's more than that, because they were positioning it as a premium. Basically, under their last strategy, they were looking to off ramp their console players to PC. It wasn't ever, from what I can see, ever designed as something that would be feasible as like a continuation of a core platform, right? As a mass market platform. So now they're clearly scrambling to see, well, what can we do to change that? There's certain things they won't be able to change because it'd be well in the deals would have been signed with AMD, etc. So maybe they're doing a subscription.
That's
thing.
What I was going to say.
They were talking about that in the 360 days, though.
Yeah, but I can see that. I can see it being a situation where they announce it and it doesn't. It's not just here's the price. I can see it being it's £50 a month for 5 months or something, for 5 years, or
the iPhone model. You can buy it outright for £2,000.
Or the overall. So the overall cost ends up being £2 or £3,000, but you're paying it a month at a time. So
I just don't, because they're so quaint in this day and age, right? As I said, they were talking about this in 360 days.
Yeah.
They did it and they did all access, right? Was it called that? Xbox All Access? So I'm thinking more like they'd probably do something where it's like, well, if you sign up to a 3-year contract to Game Pass Ultimate, then you can get it at X price or whatever, like ways that they can offset it. And the discussion now is a lot of speculation that, I think it's speculation, I've not seen any quotes, that there might be some sort of ad-supported model, because there's that television in the US is it called Telly, where they give you the TV for free, but you have to watch mandatory ads, basically, on this thing.
Yeah. I mean, if they go down that route, I hope it's optional, because I will throw money at you to not get ads. Like
Patreon.com/Video Games.
It's a real problem, and the conversation's only going to get bigger and bigger in the next year as they probably start talking about next platforms. I mean, Nintendo's basically still losing money on Switch 2, even with a price increase. It's a disaster for anyone in consumer hardware. It's a complete disaster. I don't see how they can go ahead with these new they seemingly have to. I mean, seems to be a slowdown in the component shortages. I think it seems like the AI hype is plateauing a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's still a complete disaster. These consoles are going to cost nearly $1,000, aren't they? Basically, unless they're heavily subsidized.
I think that's the start. And
how much is a Steam Deck now? That's nearly like $1,000.
The top end is $949 for a Steam Deck. Like for a Steam Deck,
for a Steam Deck, Switch 2.
No, this Xbox is like $1,200 bare minimum. I think, and it just keeps going up as this component situation becomes more and more of an issue. I think it's not going to be great. Which also makes me think that we're not going to see it anytime soon, same as PS6. I can see them trying to ride out the wave and hoping the AI bubble bursts and it calms down a bit before they start announcing stuff. Because
congratulations to anyone who bought into the PlayStation 5 Pro, the best deal in gaming. Just as we get back to, by the way, multiple people came up to me at SGF and said that PS5 Pro the best deal in gaming, and I was like, I can't tell if you're taking the piss out of me or not. And they're like, no, I just like the podcast. So shout outs to you. Xbox Game Studios has previously closed Perfect Dark developer The Initiative. In 2014, it closed Arcane Austin, who did Redfall and Prey, Alpha Dog Games, who did Mighty Doom, and Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks. The studio was later resurrected. The Xbox Game Studios lineup right now, if you're playing fantasy football at home, is The Coalition, who do Gears of War, Compulsion, who did South of Midnight, Double Fine, who did Kiln and Psychonauts and are genuine legends, Halo Studios, In Exile, who did Clockwork Revolution, Mojang, who do Minecraft, Ninja Theory, who do Senua, Obsidian, who do Outer Worlds and maybe something else, Playground, who do Forza Horizon, Rare, Turn 10, who also do Forza, Undead Labs, and World's Edge, who do Age of Empires. There's obviously, I would say half of those names are going absolutely nowhere because they are the studios that do Xbox's big stuff. But yes, to Andy's point, if you're on the smaller end of that scale, I would be pretty worried. In the note, Sharma said that the platform holder had not adequately funded the biggest franchises, as Andy mentioned, and the studio system was overextended. It's a pretty sad situation. And so we mentioned it there about Toys for Bob. The name that jumps to my mind is Double Fine, naturally, because they are a studio with a ridiculous back catalogue, a very charismatic and legendary frontman in Tim Schafer. And if they were to go independent, maybe best for all involved. Obviously not not thinking from a money perspective, but surely that is better than just, okay, here's the end of this legacy studio, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a grim topic in general. They're saying like, oh, they could be going or they could be going. It's just not generally that nice. Let Double Fine go independent and then have them knock on Nintendo's door and say, we want to make a Tango game. then job done. Everyone's happy. Get Double Fine on Tango.
Tango Gameworks they can rebrand as. We're going to fly through this.
And I think some of those studios would be exciting as independent studios if indeed they do let them do that. Again, complete speculation, but somebody like Rare, Sea of Thieves is declining. If you're a corporation like Microsoft, you're obsessed with the graph, the number going up, right? But for an independent studio, that's an incredible business. You know, they could be very, very strong, I think, as an independent studio. They've got so much IP, although I guess question marks on whether they let them have that.
Because you risk Rare going independent and then Nintendo knocking on the door and going, and then like
there he is, Johnny Nintendo.
Diddy Kong Racing 2 confirms.
None of the devs are at Rare.
That's true.
They're all at.
Gonna knock at Sumo, mate.
From Software.
Well, we'll get Kinect Sports 2.
Oh, Your Shape Fitness Evolved 2.
They did Kinect Sports 2, didn't they? Kinect Sports 3. Kinect Sports 3, sorry.
That's what Xbox should do. They should bring back the Kinect. I think that's the real hearts and minds moment that will save them from this absolutely toxic decline in business. But hey, at least everyone got nice jackets. Very quickly, Ubisoft is closing multiple studios, 380 job losses. Ubisoft Barcelona will be restructured solely to focus on Rainbow Six. And Ubisoft has internally announced organizational changes within its global publishing team, which will see role reductions across the company. Ubisoft are in a dire situation as they try to realign themselves to focus on their massive IPs. You may think, am I listening to an old podcast? Well, no. In March, Ubisoft announced around 100 job losses at historic Tom Clancy developer Red Storm Entertainment, which it said would no longer be developing its own games. Andy, a few quick comments on the Ubisoft situation. It's all bad news out of them at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of announced this earlier. Was it earlier this year or was it last year? I can't keep track, but they were looking to eliminate quite a lot of costs. Was it 200 million over the next 2 years? So this has been coming for a long time. It's streamlining their operation. Sad to see. Probably more to come. This is an ongoing a thing at Ubisoft. I mean, they're not, the amount of people they've got is insane. For the amount of games few amount of games they're putting out at the moment.
Yeah, you watch the credits of an Assassin's Creed game and it goes on for 50 years, but obviously our thoughts with everyone affected, but we will keep our track on that story because it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. And lighter stuff, here's some of the SGF coverage you need to check out from this week. Obviously, embargoes are now lifting. Some embargoes still in place, which is why you've not seen a full roundup. But Andy spoke to the big boss man over at Final Fantasy VII Revelation. A really fun interview. I thought he was very forthcoming, especially having done about 35 interviews in the space of 3 days. Yours seemed like he still had a bit of light between his eyes. Tell us a little bit about that.
he's a genuinely super nice guy. He's as he comes across, like on stage. Very, very nice guy, Hamaguchi. Speaks at length, very generous answers. You usually go into an interview with about 10 questions. You'll get through 5 with him in, if you're lucky, in 30 minutes, because he'll answer. Very passionate about the game. The thing I find fascinating about him is as you'll see in my piece on the site, is that his background, he's a programmer. Like he programmed a lot of the previous Final Fantasy games. So he usually with a development team, you've got like a designer. A lot of them are artists, actually. It end up being creative directors or testers. Former testers become designers as well. They'll be like, I want this big feature, and then they'll have to have an argument with the engineering team, right? Like, that's not possible. Whereas I find it fascinating that he comes from an engineering background, and he kind of gets like, well, if I'm designing this is how I can design it, and all the pieces will fall into part, and it'll be very efficient for the engineering team, and we can actually make it happen. And I think that's a large part for why the games look and run as good as they do, especially on the lesser platforms, Steam Deck.
That's always something they praised Iwata for as well, because obviously
of course, that's a very good point.
And Sakurai was saying it a couple of years ago as well, that there's very few directors these days that have like a multidiscipline background, so you end up with lots of teams having fights, like Andy says, that the art team doesn't understand what the kind of how the engine works and the music, or all the different teams are fighting with each other because they don't understand what the other teams require, whereas a director who's got experience actually in the trenches essentially, like kind of gets it and it works better. So yeah, it's a rare breed from what Sakurai
I'm
says.
looking forward. I loved the first 2 remakes, so I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully they have more to show at Tokyo Game Show.
Next up is Clutch. I'm about to see this, the new game from Maverick. Chris Scullion, there's a new Forza like for you to obsess over. You saw the trailer for this during SGF, and let me tell you, a ridiculously good looking game. It feels like they're really focusing on the kind of single player bombast of what the Forza does well. But Chris, I've got bad news. It's set in France, it's set in the French Riviera, it's set in Monaco. Does that destroy your excitement for it? Pass.
No, I mean, like I saw the gameplay you put up on the YouTube channel, which everyone should check out. It looks amazing. It's funny, the one weak point of the Horizon games for me is the story. And this seems to be going story heavy. So yeah, exactly. So this seems to be going story heavy. So I'm wary of that. In terms of the racing, it looks exceptional, as you would expect. So I'm cautiously very optimistic about it, as long as the story is either good or can be skipped.
TBC on whether it couldn't be skipped, but I thought it was pretty good. Andy, you spoke to the lads behind Resident Evil Veronica.
Yeah, they were not really revealing much, to be honest. They had like these theatre kind of like meetings where you'd have like about, 30 people in there or something like that. And they kind of like, they show you the trailer again, and they bring the producer up on stage. He talked a bit about how the reason they've dropped the code from the name is because that's their new naming convention for the games. It's like, Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil Veronica, Resident Evil whatever. So they wanted to position it, with the rest of the game so that it doesn't feel like a lesser thing. It's a third-person game, like 2 and 4, and the team who remade 2 and 4 are also working on it. In those presentations, you're in with, I'm guessing, a lot of like fans and influencers and stuff. So you end up getting lots of questions, like legitimately, like, "Oh, how do you get your hair looking so good?" And can I? This is more of a statement than a question. Can I just thank you for? Yeah, okay, yeah. Obviously, they don't want to speak to me again because they want to be fair to everyone.
Yeah.
So they just come back to me, and so basically, I was doing a one-on-one. This happens all the time, by the way. Anyone listening to this who's not worked in the media, this is inside baseball. A lot of that happens a lot, right? Where you end up in a round table interview, which is why they don't do them these days. They're very rare. And you're basically doing the interview where everyone else just sits there and records, if you're the proper journalist in the room. Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. It's the A team, right? It's the A team. I think probably they're very wary of not stumbling like they did with 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which was not them. It was another team. But that was one of the lesser Resident Evil games, and it didn't sell anywhere near as well as the others, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, Stranger Than Heaven. You can check out the footage I put on YouTube. Didn't see any 2-pack, but I did see the new combat system. It's not a Yakuza game. It's very odd. You use the right trigger and bumper to right fist and kick, and you use the left to left. Chris?
I heard a rumour that the reason they didn't show more of Zelda is similar to Stranger Than Heaven, that actually Ganondorf is going to be played by Method Man. And then when at the end when he turns into just Ganon,
Professor Green,
it's Raekwon the chef. Legend. So so you heard it here first. Go start leaking that.
Get that reported. Gaming leaks and rumors.
Get that covered.
Andy, you had the very rare opportunity to speak to Fumito Ueda, the man behind Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian. What was that like? Now, full disclosure, on the last day of Summer Game Fest, while I was waiting for my Uber, he was waiting next to me, and while I said hello to him, he looked very puzzled as to why I would want to speak to him, and I was just like, "All right, how you doing?" So, was your interview slightly more in depth than that?
Yeah, he's he speaks exactly as you'd expect the man who's made like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico to speak, like in riddles. I think he wanted to say more than he did. Epic are publishing the game, his new game, Gen Atlas. I keep wanting to call it Gen Alpha. And they kept stopping him from revealing too much. So he didn't really say anything about the game at all. It was all sort of like philosophy and, broad, ideas for how he goes about creating his games. But I think it looks great. He's got the pedigree, right? I hope he's had 10 years to make it. I mean, he says he's only been working on it for 6, but still.
Yeah.
High hopes for that.
Very early stages then. John, when you were standing next to him waiting for the Uber, did you wait to actually see the Uber pick him up? Was this a normal Uber that turned up, or was it just a giant beast?
Was this at the Uber, or was it at the urinals?
No.
That's where I meet people.
The only Japanese dev I've met at the urinals is Big Yoshi P, and I told the story of panicking and just saying hi to him, but obviously it just seems like he walked out the toilet and I went, yes! So that was my whole interaction with a Japanese dev.
So when I met Denny Villeneuve on the
Oh, here we go. It's only taken an hour. I was waiting on this.
Well, I forgot. Well, it's only taken an hour, so I forgot it even happened. I've every now and then I'm like, oh, did that happen?
What did you say to him?
Like when I was, Denny, I love Blade Runner. He's like, yeah, thanks. And then after, because he's sitting, and then afterwards I'm like, I hope he didn't think I thought, oh, is my dog going mental? Maybe Denny Villeneuve's walked past.
Blade Runner.
I hope he doesn't. I walked off. I was like, I hope he doesn't think that I think that he made the original Blade Runner.
Anyway, just wrapping up as this podcast falls to pieces around us, mainly of my own fault. Played Tomb Raider. There's an interview up on YouTube, and there's gameplay up on YouTube. Also played Alien Isolation, which seems like more of the same, but that's no bad thing. Control Resonant is an absolute banger. There's a lot of gameplay and an interview with Mixu, the director of the game, and Sean Jury, the star of the game, both up on YouTube. And still to come, hopefully very shortly, Silent Hill Townfall, which is set in Scotland and looks fantastic. I got to see a demo of that from Screenburn, formerly No Code. They are developers that are 15 minutes away from my house, so look out for more of that. Also saw The Lost Wild, which is essentially Alien Isolation but with dinosaurs, which is very cool, and a few other bits from Annapurna's lineup. There is one game that Andy did an interview for and I played that we can talk about next week that I cannot wait to talk about because it was such a banger, but look out for that. Anything else you'd like to highlight, Andy, from your coverage over the weekend, or stuff that people should look out for?
I've still got loads to do. I've been in the mines this week. I spoke to Izuka, the head of Sonic team, about their Pico Park, kind of collaboration. So, Jordan, are you beating up a suitcase?
It's my stupid fucking.
Are you being burgled?
It's my cat. He stands at my office door, puts his claws into the bottom of the door, and tries to lift it up. Like you can hear it on every single podcast. It goes fucking crazy.
I know, but for the benefit of those listening, they might not be getting the same experience as us. This whole podcast has involved your camera breaking down more times than fucking, I don't know, it's
Rachel Hammond,
an old boxer.
And now we can see someone kicking your door in.
And we can no longer see you. We're trusting,
bang.
We're trusting that you're still fully clothed at this point. And we don't know where the mic is from your source, but all we can hear about Andy's talking is dum, dum, boom, 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 boom. like somebody's kicked your door in and is knocking fuck out you right now.
You're beating up an intruder.
Andy's trying his very best to do be professional.
He's like the greatest professional. Like burgers coming. He's like, so anyway, guys, what did you think of Stranger in Heaven?
And he's like, yeah. And I thought it was quite interesting during SGF. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on?
Yeah, so I got that to come. There's some Sonic bits and bobs, some Sonic nuggets.
Yeah.
Listen, Godzilla and Sonic racing crossworlds. That's amazing.
You must have had your chopper out of that, no doubt.
That was one of the biggest highlights for me. Year 2.
Yeah, Sonic is huge.
Racing.
Godzilla's huge. Sonic's no huge. Get this podcast finished, man. Portability has got it out the window. Lots more to come. Yes, but things are returning to normal now. We will be back next week, obviously, with a podcast, some sort of podcast. I will have snapped my computer over my knee at this point, and I'll have dealt with the burglars that are currently making their way through my house. For more, obviously, we released the podcast all weekend. You can go and check out. There's more stuff on Patreon, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. Today is your final day to get those burglars again. Today's the final day to get those codes from Kepler if you sign up at the Insider tier or above. And as we said, if you come to VGC Live, if you get your tickets, you will have a very good chance of winning this copy of Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection signed by the entire team that worked on it, which I think is a pretty cool prize indeed. The first of many prizes that can be won at VGC Live. I'm actually sweating. I'm so stressed out. I'm not even joking. I'm genuinely, like, the back of my legs are wringing wet with sweat because I'm so up to high dough with this whole production. And I'm not even going to make Pete edit this one. I'm just going to do it myself because I feel so bad. Anything else, Chris Scullion, that you'd like to highlight?
No, I bought the Forza controller. It looks good.
You mug, you consumerist slag. Have you bought that?
Listen, I'm keeping them in our business. You're welcome.
Oh, really? They're going to lay off the guys who made that controller next week, probably.
They're the golden geese. They're all right. But yeah, I don't know if anything else. I'm still working. I've been working away on my Japan vlog thing. Is basically, it is becoming like a Marvel Cinematic Universe length thing. So it's definitely going to be a Patreon highlight when it's done. So if you're not already on the Insider tier, which is where it's going to go on, then get in amongst it because it's going to be fairly epic in scale.
Oh, Jordan's mic's died again.
Excellent.
So should we just outro the podcast?
We'll outro. We'll outro it because why not? Check out patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle for ad-free browsing, all the other good stuff, the bonus Summer Game Fest content. Andy, anything else you'd like to add before we go? Who's your pick for the World Cup?
Jordan is a massive, absolute dick.
I mean, that's a given. Who's your if England can't win it, because obviously your pick would be England. But if the worst for you,
I don't really care if England win it.
Yeah, but you would hope of all the
as
teams.
I say, I've like that. I'll be draped in a flag on the
you're your
on
kids,
the knockout
you're
stages.
your kids wearing. You got England kits for the kids, didn't you? Full England
Yeah,
kits, so.
well, my parents did. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay, that's right.
I'm trying to get in the spirit. It's just a bit weird with the late
zone.
kickoffs, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
But who's going to win? I reckon probably the FIFA prediction is probably
Spain
on the money. That would be Spain.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. But we shall see. We'll keep an eye on it, and I'm sure we'll update you on the podcast on what's going on. But until next time, thank you very much for listening. Say goodbye, Andy.
Is that? Am I back? Is this working again?
No, you fucked it. No. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Jordan.
Say goodbye, Jordan.
Say goodbye, Jordan. Say goodbye, Jordan. And it's goodbye from me, Chris. Have a good one. Arrivederci, Roma, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, I'm the VGC Podcast, episode 175. Me, Jordan Bittler, Chris Scullion and Andy Robinson. This week, I get an absolute hole punched in by robbers. Thank you and good night.
Why does it say 13 minutes at the top?
Because he stopped it every time he cut out. He restarted the recording.
Stupid
He's got like
podcast.
14 clips to join together.
Stupid podcast. Silly little podcast. Daft website. Fuck off.